Hi everybody, and welcome to our third and final workshop in the Sloan C Blended Learning Series. My name is Matthew Russell, and I have the pleasure to act as your main facilitator for the workshops in the Blended series. These workshops are all offered by members of the Learning Technology Center and the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee, where I am an instructional designer and lecturer. We've all produced a great number of resources and workshops on blended and online education in the LTC, and use these tools to develop blended and online departments and programs at UWM and beyond. Indeed, the team in the LTC has given workshops on blended and online education around the U.S. and internationally many times over the years. In addition, we are always looking towards new and emerging technologies that can be incorporated into educational contexts, and have been awarded grants that help us to do just that. To that end, we are looking forward to sharing our knowledge and experiences with you, learning and growing with you as you begin your journey towards redesigning your own courses for blended delivery. As you can see, there are a few ways to get in touch with us during the workshop. Please feel free to ask us any questions related to the topics at hand, or even related to technology and education in general, and we'll be happy to discuss them with you. Just like you, we are all educators and passionate about the possibilities of using technology for teaching and learning. In our Sloan C series of workshops, we strive to be as comprehensive as possible in thinking through all the concepts related to a successful redesign of courses. In this diagram, you can see all the topics and concepts that we'll talk about in our series. In our first workshop, we discussed some of the broad questions related to course redesign and the basics of designing a learning module for your course. In the second workshop, we talked about using rich and multimedia in your courses, the possibilities inherent in small group exercises in the blended environment, and how to reconsider grading strategies or assessment in blended. In this workshop, we'll talk about the best ways to evaluate your course design as you've created it, how to help your students succeed, overcome challenges, and manage expectations, and bring everything together to draft a syllabus or course redesign plan for your blended class. What we find rewarding about this series is that it gives you the chance to think through all the details of course design and create a course that meets your needs. We are all excited about the courses we teach and have invested energy and passion into their design. In taking the time here to redesign a course for a new environment, we hope to show you that this new environment can be just as rewarding and fulfilling for you and your students. The third workshop is entitled Stay Organized and Evolve, Before, During, and After. Let's take a few minutes to outline the contents of this workshop and its assignments. First off, let's talk a bit about the objectives of this workshop. The first two workshops of our series covered elements related primarily to pedagogy. In those workshops, the decisions you would need to make revolved around translating the materials and structure of your course into a new environment. In this workshop, we'd like to talk about elements of your blended course that are related to the successful delivery and maintenance of those materials. In a traditional face-to-face course, student support and time management issues may be addressed almost intuitively. Books are available at the bookstore, for example. Students need to show up on time for class and take exams, quizzes, or write papers. In the mediated environment of a blended course, however, students need more concrete forms of support and resources in order to successfully navigate the course's assignments and materials. In addition, you will need to think about how you will spend your time supporting students and keeping up with the workload. Finally, it will be very useful to weave into the course design several opportunities for evaluating the course. By this, we don't mean end of the semester evaluations of the course. Rather, we want to give students, and even your peers, the chance to evaluate the course during the semester so you can make adjustments that you feel are warranted and useful. This workshop will address many of these concerns and offer ways to address them. In our first module of this workshop, we'll focus primarily on managing self, that is you, the instructor, and students. What are the resources that students will need to succeed in your blended course? Remember, not all students have access to the same technology or have the same technological literacy that we do. To that end, it is important to find or make support documents and resources that help your students get access or up to speed on the technologies they'll be using. In addition, blended course design asks students to do more, even as these are smaller scale assignments and interactions with content. It's always a good idea to let students know how you imagine them spending their time during the days, weeks, or modules of the course. Finally, you need to think carefully about how you will spend your time. When you look over the modules and activities you've designed for students, make sure that it will all be manageable for you so as to avoid the course and a half syndrome. Our second module addresses course evaluation. Again, when we say evaluation here, we are thinking of two different things. One, how can you get feedback during the time that the blended course is being offered? Giving students the chance to provide feedback during the semester can help you understand what resources they need to succeed now, rather than finding out after the course has been run what you could have done differently. Second, how can you evaluate your course before or after it is run? We offer an evaluation checklist that we think will help pinpoint areas of your course design and ways to make changes to them as needed. Finally, in our third module, we'll work to develop a basic redesign plan or draft syllabus for your blended course. At the end of our series, we'd like you to bring all your experiences together to craft a working, practical document that you can use when you make decisions about what you can do now and what you can do in the future when considering the design of your blended course. Now that you know some of the key features of this workshop, let's talk a bit about the workshop structure, requirements, grading, and so forth. The learning objectives for our third workshop are as follows. Identify strategies to stay organized, to manage workload, and to ultimately help students. To use a comprehensive blended learning checklist to evaluate course redesign and develop a plan to guide you through the remainder of the process. And produce a draft syllabus or course redesign plan for critique and further development. We'll accomplish this through a series of activities that, when completed, will provide you with the knowledge and skills to begin to determine how to evaluate and support learning in your blended course, as well as come up with a concrete plan for moving in that direction. Along with a few readings in our workshop, there will be many presentations on all of the subjects for you to watch. These presentations are structured to give you a good overview of the concepts related to each module and provide examples for how they have been used in a variety of situations. These presentations are all available as links within the workshop and under the appropriate modules. For this workshop on support and evaluation, we've tried to include as many different perspectives and voices as we could. We realize that we are all coming from different backgrounds and experiences, and so we would like to give you a few different options for thinking about how you can interact with these questions. As with all the materials in our workshop series on blended redesign, it is our hope that these materials can be used as good points of reference when assembling a blended course or going back and reconsidering one that you've already taught. In order to successfully complete this workshop, you will need to do 3 separate activities. You will need to post to 2 discussion forums, both of which correspond to the first 2 modules of this workshop. In those forums, you will be asked to post a response to the prompts we've given you on the topic and based on the presentation's link there. You will also be asked to reply to at least one other participant in each forum. Of course, we are hoping to facilitate a discussion in both modules, so please feel free to read and respond to as many posts as you like in order to glean the knowledge and experience of your peers in the workshop. As facilitators, we will be in the discussion forums and respond to postings ourselves to keep conversations going and give you feedback on all of your postings and questions. Finally, we'll ask you to submit a draft syllabus or course redesign plan for your proposed blended course. As you go through the modules, please do let us know if difficulties arise, and we'll do our best to help you finish these assignments. What would be the best way to approach this workshop and organize your own time? As you'll note, each module of the workshop lists the required dates for posting and replying in the discussion forum, as well as for the final assignment. For all of the modules, we suggest reading and considering the presentations, prompts, assignments, and other materials during the first half of the week, roughly Monday through Thursday. Then, from Thursday to Sunday, we'll ask you to post and reply in discussion forum areas or post a final assignment. During the first 2 modules, there can be many postings in the forum, and that's a good thing. You can read what your peers are writing when you have the time to do so, and post during the weekend. Thank you for your time and attention while watching this presentation. We look forward to seeing you in the workshop and discuss the many possibilities that blended course design offers you for teaching and learning.